Pokemon Masters, Berkeeper Toby here, and do you want to be my Pokemon rival? When I get Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, I'm going to start my journey at the same time as many of you. Maybe we all go on that journey together. Maybe we get the chance to battle someday at a gathering or a meetup. You will go on a journey somewhat like mine, but a little bit different, and we might have different ways of training our Pokemon, and that is what a Pokemon rival is. And throughout the history of the franchise, we've had some incredible rivals, like for example, there was Blue, there was Silver, in the TV show there was Paul. These rivals have a lot in common, and there are some rivals that I love and some that I hate, and that's where my concern for Pokemon Let's Go is coming through. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for these games. I think they're going to be wonderful, and I think this won't be a big problem in the game. And in fact, the problem isn't really to do with this one game, it's just something I think about gaming in general. This video, of course, though, is talking about Trace, the new rival in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, and because this is a Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu themed video, if you leave a like and a comment, there's a chance of you winning a copy when the games come out. It's a worldwide competition, so no need to worry about that, but let me know your thoughts about rivals below, and of course, leave that like or dislike if you prefer. And yeah, let's talk about this guy. Why am I talking about this guy? What is my problem here? I'm usually very positive about the upcoming Pokemon games. I am personally very excited for them. Well, let's take a look back at some of the rivals that I said I liked before. You've got Gary or Blue, depending on whether it's the game or the show. You've got Paul in the show and Silver in the games. These characters are all very similar. Silver came right after Gary or Blue, and actually Paul is the anime adaptation of Silver. And these characters all share similar personality traits. They're going on the same journey you are. They want to beat all the gym leaders. They want to be the strongest. They want to maybe complete the Pokedex. But they're less fussed on that. Their primary goal is the same as yours. Beat all the gym leaders, beat the Elite Four, and have the strongest team of Pokemon out there. Be able to win every single battle. And usually they all come from the same starting town as you. You start in the same place going on the same journey, but you have different attitudes, different ways of getting to that goal. They are typically about training strong Pokemon, powerful Pokemon, the best teams at all costs they must win, whereas you, or Ash in the show, tends to be of the opinion of friendship is magic. Friendship is super special, awesome, and caring for your Pokemon is everything. That is how you are going to win your battles, not by pushing your Pokemon to the extreme limits, but by actually training with them and working with them. And in all of the instances with these rivals, Ash Ketchum in the show, or you as a Pokemon trainer, will end up ultimately defeating them in the final battle, even if you've lost some of the battles along the way, and ultimately persuade them that by using love and trust and friendship, their Pokemon could be even stronger. You have had an impact on their character's journey, just as they have had an impact on yours. By them telling you that you have weakling Pokemon and that you shouldn't accept loss and you shouldn't accept defeat, you work harder to prove your point. You and the rival are on parallel journeys, and they don't always have to be aggressive. There is the rival of Barry in Generation 4, and he still wants to be the strongest and be the best, but he is definitely your friend the whole way through. He's a friendly rival. But he's still going on the same journey as you. He still wants to be the best trainer, the strongest trainer. He's got his own motivators. He wants to look up to his dad, who runs the battle tower. He wants to be able to prove himself to his dad, and so he needs to be able to beat you, and you need to be able to beat him because you want to show your friend that you're better than him. You both started in the same town, and you go on the same journey together. You are still rivals, though. But there are some rivals out there that I'm less fond of. Let's take May from Generation 3, for example. Don't get me wrong, love the character in the show, but in the games, whether it's May or whether it's Brandon, depending on the gender version of them, that trainer is not out to get every gym badge. They are not out to defeat the Pokemon League or even necessarily complete the Pokedex before you. They just want to help Professor Birch with their research. So even though they're the rival character, they're not really your rival. In fact, they don't really start at the same point as you. They've already started their Pokemon journeys before you. They have, of course, a Pokemon at the same level as yours, and yes, they've come from the same town, but in those stories, you've just moved into town, and in fact, you don't even, in the original Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, you don't even get to battle May or Brandon with their final evolutionary starter. They do correct that in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but those rivals just don't really feel like rivals, because they're not rivaling you in pretty much anything. Other than the fact that you both have a Hoenn starter, the only time that there's any level of rivalry is when they challenge you for a battle, and pretty much after that there's no slandering, no back talk where they're telling you that, well, the way that you're training Pokemon is wrong and this is the way I train Pokemon. There's none of that. They're just like, cool, good fight. It's less of a rivalry, less of a competition. Then you get to games like Black and White and Kalos where there are so many rivals. It's not about one person on a parallel journey with you, it's about a whole bunch of people on similar kind of journeys, and you get a little bit lost as to what direction you're supposed to be looking at. And again, they are all super friendly towards you. To then you get to Gen 7 with my least favorite rival, How. Really, How to me does not make for a good rival. Yes, you start your journeys at pretty much the same points, and How does go on the same journey as you. He wants to defeat the Alolan Trials, but his personality traits don't conflict with yours at all. Actually, Sun and Moon are criticized for having a protagonist with no defining character traits. It's pretty much just blank face. They're basically always smiling. In my mind, in a weird kind of way, How isn't a rival to the protagonist. He is the protagonist. Super excited and cheery about going on a Pokemon adventure, completing the trials, and getting upset when he needs to get upset and sees the evil team doing what they're doing. How is the main trainer. He's not a good rival at all, and his rival is Gladion, who has a complete opposite approach to training than he does, who is annoyed at how happy-go-lucky How is. Really, Gladion should be the rival of this game, and all of How's characteristics should be your characteristics as a trainer. That's just my thought. How was my least favorite rival, and now we move another step further to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, where we have Trace, who is introduced as your friendly rival, and in the small cutscenes that we have seen of him, we see him like either losing a battle with you or something, or ungifting you 5 potions. And this, even if the character is your friend, this is not something a rival should be wanting to do. Not at the early stages of the game anyway. In my opinion, a rival should be about having competition. A rival character should be someone who pushes you harder, who the moment you've battled, you're dying to get to the Pokemon Center because wow, what a memorable battle that was. Not someone who's going to heal up all your Pokemon and then give you some potions and some Pokeballs and give you the TM that's going to help you beat him next time. They should have opposing views to training Pokemon than you do. They should be a different character to you. Otherwise, you might as well be Trace. And Trace is walking in the footsteps of Blue, or Gary, the character who was previously the Kanto rival. Maybe they're related somehow, I could see it. And don't get me wrong, Blue has mellowed out since his days as a younger kid. He has learned from Red, the character that you played in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. And in fact, through their rivalry, through not getting along, they are now friends in the Alola region in Pokemon Sun and Moon. In fact, Ash and Gary are also now friends. They're good friends. But that friendship was forged over the ways that they pushed each other and they challenged each other, not the way that they pandered to each other and just kind of went, yeah, good going, awesome, alright, cool, see you later. That's what every other trainer you face does. These characters are supposed to be on a parallel journey to you specifically, doing the things that you do in a different kind of way. Ultimately, it's this conflict, and spoiler alert, that leads to the character of Blue being the champion at the end of the Gen 1 games. And then when you battle them, it is a battle of ideologies. You're battling some parallel version of yourself who you fundamentally disagree with their way of training things. This is the battle to finally settle everything, to answer the question, whose way of training has been right all along. It's not just a Pokemon battle, it's a battle of ideologies, and this is why it's so important and such a big moment in the Pokemon games. And I think that's maybe a little bit lost, say at the end of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where you end up battling How. It's not some big battle of ideologies, it's just two mates duking it out, and that's okay, that's fun, but it's not epic, it's not monumental. I think that's what having a non-friendly rival does for a story, but maybe Let's Go will pleasantly surprise me. Maybe Trace could become a villain throughout the game. I don't know, I'd love to see that. A good guy turned villain. That could be fun. I'm honestly up for anything, but I hope to not see a character like How again. A character who could essentially be interchangeable with you, the protagonist. But those are just the rivals I like. Maybe you totally disagree with me. I'm looking for a rival that really is going to challenge me. Maybe you agree with this sentiment, maybe not. If you leave a comment, let me know what you think about rivals, and actually if you leave a comment and a like, there is a chance for you to win a copy of Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, so you can decide for yourself when the games are out. Just leave that comment, leave that like or dislike. Any interaction like that acts as an entry on any of my videos with Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu in the title, and it acts as an entry towards you winning a copy of the game. Let me know what you think. And so hi, Pokemon Masters. Using the links below, sign up to Patreon today to get merch, Pokemon cards, shoutouts. A special thank you goes to the patrons who made 3 videos a week possible, especially the Poke Myth of the Month. Jessica Mather, thank you so much for your support.